We appreciate that on a Grey Cup week where we've been looking at some of those clips. And right now, hopefully with the magic of Skype, we are going to get a hold of Stephen Rapp, who's standing by. Ready with material, I'm sure. As he gets prepared. From inside the lines.
Rapp Greek, you want to span a copper or a euro?
It's Stephen the Greek. Thanks for joining me this morning.
What's going on, Michael?
Well,
I understand you're flying solo.
Flying solo today, and this week it's funny looking at some of the CFL clips from some of the years gone by. You just sort of forget, a lot of the names. Stephen, as you know, the CFL sometimes can be really transient. So it's for the younger generation that didn't see the games because they blacked them out. The league thought it was smart to black out the games, and you have a whole generation that the CFL, quite frankly, lost because they just never saw it on television.
That is so true. I mean, I remember my last CFL game. It was a Grey Cup that was taking place in one of the coldest days I could ever remember at Exhibition Stadium.
Yep.
And then I'm the lost generation. I'm a generation that did not watch CFL for maybe 20 years. I don't know how long it was. And it wasn't until I got involved with that 365 back in the day. It's new, obviously, now I'm with Sports Interaction. But anyways, I digress. It wasn't until I got involved in the sponsorship end of things that I started going back and getting involved in the CFL game and realizing, I tell you, a lot of people say that game on Sunday, the Argos-Saskatchewan game, was a hell of a lot better than anything you saw on Sunday in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was. And we certainly have a lot of interesting games in a year that has been... Well, it's not been the easiest of you. I mean, I think for you, I mean, you like taking a dog. You can smell those dirty, flea-ridden dogs, and there's certainly been a lot of them. But it's been really tricky because quarterback play is so inconsistent because you haven't had a lot of the starters to actually play. So, maybe case and an example, I don't know how the guy keeps his job in Buffalo, but you've got Buffalo, Kansas City. Kansas City has not played very well. We assume it would be Tyrod Taylor, I guess, but I guess you spin the wheel, you don't know because they're talking -10 for the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tyrod Taylor, and it's too much. But just quickly, before we get to that game, how about the 3 idiot coaches that lost yesterday? I mean, you talk about quarterback play. I'd like to talk about the idiot coaching play. I mean, we see some really – I mean, Caldwell was terrible in Indianapolis, terrible in Detroit. Jason Garrett, how does he keep his job?
Yeah.
I mean, they're never going to win with Jerry Jones, the billionaire, as a GM because he's not a GM. He's a billionaire. Don't know what he does and why he keeps Garrett. And then McAdoo, I mean, it was a trifecta of crap last night as far as coaching goes. But jump to Buffalo, Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City 10 points, too much here. I know they tried to experiment last week with Nathan Peterman. The Bills did. It was horrible. I can't really say anything, but it was horrible. But, I mean, this is a Buffalo team, the Kansas City team that's lost 3 or 4. They haven't looked good. They haven't had any offense. And if Buffalo is 4.5 with Tyrod Taylor last week, it went to 7 when it was announced Peterman. Chargers may be the best team, one of the best teams in football right now, playing one of the best. How is Kansas City 10 points in this game, Michael?
I don't know. I think it's just they are just egging you on every week to want to take that dog, but I just can't trust Buffalo on the road. They're a team that I got to think even looking inwardly to their coach. I mean, how do you think the players feel about having to go back and forth when you actually had a chance? I mean, there you were literally poised to get, a playoff position and you pull that. So I don't even think you have confidence in your team.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think it was personally the right move. Even if they get a crawl into a wild card position, which was doubtful, they're not going anywhere. They had to know what they had in Nathan Peterman, a 5th rounder, going forward next year to see whether they use a high draft choice of all those picks they have in the first 2 rounds to package them up and go after a Rose and go after the chosen Rosen, by the way, go after a Darnold. They have to know what they're doing. And I personally thought it wasn't a bad move. I don't think they're going anywhere. I thought it was a decent coaching move. Obviously, the players were pissed off. If I was a player on that team, yes, I'd be pissed off. But you know what? I think they're going to get over it. I think McDermott's a good coach.
Carolina at the Jets, it's +5.5. Carolina's starting. There's certain teams that seem to be falling into place a little bit. I probably put Carolina that way. A lot of it to do with their defense, I would say. -5.5. I know it's not the greatest of numbers, but do you like the Panthers on the road?
No, you ask me if I like favorites. I have to give you the same answer pretty much every week. I'm never going to really like the favorites. Tell you what, Carolina has the New Orleans Saints on deck next week, so it's a little bit of a look ahead for them. The Jets have been decent at home. They've beaten Jacksonville at home. They played both Atlanta and New England pretty tight at home, and they've covered 7 of their last 8. The Jets are a frisky little team. This could be a look ahead for Carolina, who come off that smash-down a couple weeks ago with Cam Newton doing the things that Cam Newton does. I'm going to be on the dog here, taking 5.5 with Carolina with the Jets as well.
Well, then you have a buffet of dogs then this week that you might be interested in, because these numbers are huge. You've got Philadelphia's now -14. Do you think that changes by kickoff, or does it stay, or does money come in to drop it down?
No, it will not clear. I mean, it's 14 in Sports Interaction. It's 13 elsewhere on the board. I don't think that. I mean, Sports Interaction will maybe stay on the 14 with a little bit of public money. The Sharps aren't going to let that go above 14. They're going to grab a double-digit dog. Chicago plays some decent defense. And what's Philadelphia can really, in their mind, take their foot off the gas just a little bit. They pretty much got that division wrapped up. No reason to see them really put their foot down. I'm not going to be on my card this weekend, but I was leaning to Chicago in the points.
So can you trust EOSL? Because I'm going to go through all the dogs then, because that's how we're looking at this week.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
So plus 8.5. Do you think that's reasonable in Cincinnati?
Yeah. Cleveland. At this point in time, you just blindly go against Cleveland, no matter what they're laying. I mean, just Sean Kaiser can't figure it out. Hugh Jackson, he's 1 in 140 as a head coach. I mean, really, what do you have to do in this league to get fired? Until somebody tells you to stop or throws you in a rubber room, you just keep laying the points against Cleveland and see what happens.
Well, that -16.5, that is a lot of points, even for a New England team that I think they're capable right now of winning the Super Bowl. I think that they're playing that kind of football. They've found themselves. But at -16.5, they're finally back home, but is the number too big?
Yeah, I'm going to stick needles in my eyes and in my pool picks. I'm going to lay the 16.5. And I hate doing it, but Miami can't score. They're just a screwed-up organization, a screwed-up team. New England, after the first 4 weeks, and everybody was so concerned about their defense, they figured it out now. Their offense is as the New England offense always is. They'll put up points. I can't see Miami scoring 15 points a game, keeping up. So, yeah, I guess we're laying the 16.5, but we're not happy about it.
No, we're not. I think there's going to be a lot of that this weekend. Atlanta, -10. There's another delicious number.
Yeah, well, I'm all over Tampa Bay here. Atlanta coming off a short week, traveled back from the West Coast. They had that big win in Seattle. Atlanta's got a home game next week versus Minnesota, so we got a sandwich letdown spot. They've not been good on the walls. They've been favored more than 6 points 4 times this year. Atlanta has. They've yet to cover in this spot. Taking double-digit dogs have been profitable. Dogs of 9 or more have gone 8-4 against the spread. So, I mean, there's that one going for us. Fitzpatrick is serviceable. I mean, he's beaten the Jets and Dolphins, nothing to get excited about, but he's a better replacement than a lot of the quarterbacks playing this league. He gets a hungover Atlanta team, bad spot, 2-5 against the spread last 7, 5-2 again the last 17 against Tampa in Atlanta. Glad you brought it up, Michael. Can you tell? All over Tampa +10.
Well, so I'm curious about this one. +6.5 San Francisco at home, Seattle. They're probably desperate to win this game. This is literally getting closer to their season each and every game. -6.5 on the road.
Yeah, stop me if you heard this one before. Seattle, big favorite for San Francisco. Niners keep it close. More times than not win a low-scoring game. It happened already this year. Didn't happen week 2. Seattle win 12-9. Yeah. That was at home. Seattle won by 3. Now you're looking to lay 6.5 on the road. Niner team coming off a bye. Get their first win a couple weeks ago. They're playing Seattle on a short week. Lots of reasons. And the Legion of Boom. It looks like the Legion of Doom right now without Sherman and Chancellor. This is San Francisco, an extra week to prep against a hurting Seahawks team. These teams always play close games. San Francisco always surprises. Kyle Shanahan watching his old Atlanta offense on a Monday night with a week off, watching them scheme against Seattle. He'll have lots of plays. Look at the game plan. That's another one all over San Francisco plus the 6.5.
We're in conversation with Stephen Rapp here on rawmike.com, both on the website, on the dedicated YouTube channels. We take a look at sports interaction, what we're doing this weekend, and I think actually there's a couple of games that will be very intriguing. New Orleans at Los Angeles Rams. This should be a good one. And generally over the years, I know people would say, and the public certainly, they like to go over with New Orleans. You know what the Rams score like. But there's one thing about New Orleans is it's not all about Drew Brees trying to win it by himself. He's got a running game, and this year they're actually playing defense. It's -2 Rams. The total is 53.5.
Yeah, the New Orleans likes to run the ball now and control the clock. And I actually did a hit this morning where I talked about the fact that it was 2.5 and it would be going down to 2 because we've had Sharps and Public both on the same number. And that's exactly what's happened at Sports Interaction. As you mentioned, it's now 2. So we have had some professional money as well. Listen, anytime I'm going to get a chance to take a team that's won, 8 in a row, is 19-7 against the road in its last 26 games against the spread. And I'm going to take points. I'm going to get to take that every time. Rams have been very good, but let's see how this team reacts to getting punched in the mouth last week like it did. They've got the 20th ranked run defense, and they've done that against the 26th ranked schedule of run offenses. So, I mean, this is what New Orleans like to do now. They've changed their identity. They rush the ball. They control the clock. They play some defense. On offense, Rams have lost their most productive receiver, Robert Woods. So, again, there's Jared Goff losing something, a safety net that he's going to become accustomed to this season, and a little bit better defense taking points. I'm taking New Orleans plus the 2 here. The total, it's up there, 53.5. I'm not really enthused by high totals in New Orleans this year like I used to be. They really try to control the clock and play some defense.
Yeah, it's interesting how history sort of shifts a little bit, but history tells us, as Pittsburgh's at home at -14, that they tend, at least the reputation is, to play down to their competition, and this gets way down. You got Hundley, who, just as I said, I don't believe it's a professional quarterback, but at -14 and Pittsburgh playing a little bit better, is the number still too big for a home game?
I just hate them. Mike, I hate them. I hate these double-digit spreads. I hate having to lay them. I don't mind taking them if I think I have a live dog. But with Hundley, I just don't know if I have a live dog because and have we proven there's a more valuable quarterback in the NFL right now than Aaron Rodgers? I know people say Tom Brady, but this guy's worth 12, 13 points to this team. They cannot run any kind of offense without him. So, I mean, it's a primetime game. We know Pittsburgh sometimes likes to show it up on the primetime games with all their talent and throw downfield. I guess since I can't see Green Bay moving forward that often, I guess I got to lay the points. What 2 horrible primetime games we got? Sunday night, Monday night. It's just a shame. I mean, Thanksgiving weekend in the U.S., everybody's looking forward to watching football. And the games other than Minnesota, Detroit were horrible yesterday, and they're horrible. They're horrible Sunday night, Monday night.
So when you're looking at this weekend for you, your top 2 picks, I know you really seem to like Tampa Bay, but what are your 2 you think strongest picks going into the weekend?
I think it's Tampa Bay, and I think it's San Francisco taking the points. Seattle hasn't done anything. I mean, basically, he's got Russell Wilson running around trying to survive. I just think that San Francisco will get better every week. And I really do respect Kyle Shanahan as a coach. I think he knows what he's doing. And I respect John Lynch as a GM. And I think those 2 guys are working great together. And I think this team builds. Coming off a bye week, I think we'll see something special from them against the Seattle team that's not impressing me at all this year. Not impressing me at all.
Stephen, you'll be busy again once this weekend with Inside the Lines, of course, here as people are watching the GTA. It's on the Fan 590, but of course you're across the country.
You can get it online, of course, and you can also get it. We're also on Calgary Fan Sports at Fan 960. Your old stomping grounds, I understand.
Yes.
Told them I knew you. They were going to kick me off the air. I don't know. I said they liked you there.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be using my name, Stephen. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here this morning. It was a good job, my friend, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks for this morning.
My pleasure. Look forward to it. Enjoy the weekend there, Mike.
What? We just become best friends? Yep.